When calculating the yield available on a particular bond at today's market price, it's really essential to be aware of the accrued interest on that bond, the interest which has accrued between the two coupon payments, such that, for example, if we had on this particular date the coupon payment of $5, and on the way to the next coupon payment, obviously the most likely thing to happen is that the purchase date doesn't coincide with the coupon date, so there will inevitably be an amount of interest accrued by the seller out of the $5, such that not all of the $5 are attributable to the buyer. So we have to find out what that proportion is. So in this example, it looks like somewhere around half. So if we say this is half of the interest is accrued, then quite simply $5 times a half, the accrued interest due to the seller would be $2. Well, half of the coupon. So we have to take that into account. Now, in order to arrive at the correct figures when calculating the accrued interest, it's quite essential to understand the day count conventions, how to count the number of days that have passed, and so how many days of interest have accrued to the seller in order to get the correct price. So that in practice there are two different day count conventions. We've got actual, and we've got the 3360 convention. So in the actual, what we're going to do is we're going to count the actual number of days of interest which have accrued, not including today's date. So if we take in the example of this bond, let's say that the previous coupon payment occurred on March 31st, and that the next coupon date, sorry, I'm going to change that. Let's put so the previous coupon payment was on March the 1st, and the next due payment, semi-annual payment 6 months later, is going to be on September the 1st. So these are the dates of the coupons, and the total annual payment then are $10 in this example, with two semi-annual $5 payments. Alright, so in the actual method, today's date is going to be July 17th. So the purchase date is July 17th. We're going to count here the number of days remaining. So I'm going to count here the number of days remaining until the next coupon payment. So the days remaining are July 17th till July 31st. Then all of August, which are 31 days, and September. Now the convention, if it's paid on September the 1st, is to count the 1st as 1 day. So the payment day counts as 1 day. So the numbers that come out of this are 1 day in September. There are 31 actual days in August, so we're going to count all 31 days. And in July, we are not going to count the day of purchase. So the convention is that we're going to count So have a look at the calendar here. So the date of purchase we've got is the 17th. We're not going to count that, so we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days. So 14 days in July. Alright, so I'm going to pop that on there, 14 days, and then to sum up we've got 14 plus 1 is 15, plus 30, 45, plus 1 is 46 days. So we've got 46 days remaining till the next payment here. So these are the remaining days in this segment. To find out the days past, we have to count the total actual days between March and so the accrued equals the total period less the remaining. And we have to count the actual number of days. So in March we've got 31, plus April we've got 30, plus May 31, plus June 30, plus July 31, plus August 31. Plus 1 day plus the 1 day in September, but then if we add the 1 day of September, the payment day, then we've got to minus the 1st of March, which was the last payment date. So the total number of days in the semi-annual period is 184. So this is equal, in the actual method, we've got 184 total days less the 46 days remaining, which gives us 136 days accrued. 136 days accrued, which has a percentage of the whole. So 136 divided by the 184 total, the percentage of accrued interest is, oh sorry, it was 138. Divided by 186 equals 74.19% of the interest is accrued. So how much of the $5 has been accrued? Times $5, that's 3. So in the actual we've got $3.71. Alright, now let's see what's the difference in the 3360 convention. So again, we're going from July 17th. These are the remaining days. July 17th to July 31st. Then we've got all of August, and we've got September the 1st, which we count. Alright, now what we're going to say in this case is that each month has 30 days and each year has 360 days, which are 12 times 30. So since each month has in this case 30 days, we cannot accept the 31 days for July. We have to change that to 30. Now how do we so then how many days do we count in July? Well, again, what we're going to do this time is we're going to take the 17th, which is the purchase date, and we're going to subtract it from 30 to find the portion of the number of days remaining. So we're going to take 30 less 17, which is going to equal 13 days in this case, 13 days. And the 1 day difference, of course, refers to is caused by the drop of 1 day in July to the 30-day convention. Then August normally has 31 days, but again we need to drop this to 30 to meet the convention, so we're going to record 30 days. And then again on September the 1st we're going to count 1 day. So in total we're going to have 30, 40, 43, 44 days. 44 days remaining. And again the difference is that we count 1 day less in July and we count 1 day less in August. And then when we come back to this calculation here at the bottom, how does this change then? So the formula is still the same. We've got accrued equals total minus remaining. However, when we go to the calendar, what we previously had was in a half year we had 184 days in our half year period, but now each month is going to be 30 days, so we're going to have 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180 days, plus 1 day for the payment day in September, but then minus 1 day in March for the previous payment date. So the plus 1 and minus 1 cancel out, leaving us with the 180 day half year. So we're going to change the 184 previous figure to 180. Then in the remaining days component we're going to drop it from 46 down to 44, and so the remainder, well, starting from 138, the difference was so we start 4 days lower and then we subtract 2 days less. So the total difference should be a total of 2 days lower than the actual method. So we've got 180 minus 44 equals 136. Or we could say 138. We start with, by starting with 180 instead of 184, we can subtract 4 days to account for that, and then by subtracting 2 less we can add back 2 days, so we come back to 136. So the final number we've got is 136. Now how does this affect our percent accrued calculation? So we've got 136 out of a total of 180 days, and the proportion 136 divided by 180 is 75.55%, or 56%. Right, a very small difference in reality. Now if we multiply that proportion accrued by the $5 coupon, we find the accrued amount in dollars. So the accrued amount in dollars is $3.78.